I think you feel powerless and you don't have a lot of control over this virus because it's like super tiny, like this invisible foe. It's really nice to use this frustration or this sort of feeling that you have, that you can eat it or devour it or like smash it or chop it or boil it, sort of release it all on the food and then just eat it, swallow it. The votives I made during the first lockdown in March. Votives are terracotta shapes of body parts, and people would offer them to like holy places or gods to cure their illnesses. If they had a problem seeing, they would give a pair of eyes, or if they couldn't get pregnant, they would sacrifice this terracotta ovaries, for example, in the hope that this god would solve their problem. Now, in modern times, many people are not going to a church anymore. So how can we sort of bring back these sort of offerings during the Corona time? I decided to make them out of food because even though if you're not going to church or don't believe in God, everybody has to eat. My name is Chloe Rutserveld and I'm a food designer and food futurist. Because I'm a food designer and not like an artist or a designer working with a range of different materials, I found it very important that it had something to do with food. What if we would make these votives edible? And then instead of body parts, we would use the parts that the coronavirus affects most. So for example, the lungs. The lungs are made out of polenta. I needed something firm. It's made with polenta, with fresh thyme, butter and a bit of salt. There are 3 different votives. So we have the lungs, the alveoli and of course the coronavirus itself. So it's a symbolical version of these anatomical votives which we can devour. The lungs, it's I'll chop you up. Ik hak je in de pan in Dutch. The torso with the alveoli, which is made of soup. It's made of lentil soup with carrots and with celery egg. It's soup because ik laat je in je eigen sop gaar koken. So I will let you simmer or stew in your own juices. So that is why I wanted something that we could boil down or melt and then directly eat. And then the last one is the coronavirus. I wanted to turn it into an ice cream because it's ik lus je rauw, so I will eat you raw. Yeah, it had to be something that is raw and fresh. If you look closely, this is the head, this is the torso, and then if I have the lung, you sort of see feet or like legs. No, it's the legs, and then for example here the butt. So in a way, it sort of forms a person. And I think that is sort of the artistic freedom that I used to model them. The body of the coronavirus, or the head, if you consider the ears, it's made of a mixture of kiwi and banana and simply juiced. And then these spikes of the coronavirus, they are made with blueberries and then also juiced. And then pushed inside the mold. And they all go inside the fridge to set. Eating is a very emotional act. So we eat when we are happy, we eat when we are sad, we eat when we are bored, also when we celebrate something. So eating is a very important part in society and also dealing with your feelings and coping with things. It's not so much directly about the food ingredients that I use that are medicine, but more sort of the symbolical meaning behind it. At first I thought I don't want to do anything with this virus because you are sort of in denial, or you think, oh, it will not affect me. And then it continued and continued. I think that's a very nice feeling that you can symbolically swallow this virus. working physically on the making of these edible anatomical votives, for me it was very comforting. So in that way, for me it was also medicine, not directly through the food, but with the food.